Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am excited about today's video because it's not your conventional video. As you can see, I am fresh-faced. My sunglasses are on my head and I am in my workout gear and I'm headed out for a walk around my neighborhood. And I thought that while I was doing that, I could give you some of my lessons, some of the things that it's just not a normal video. I'm just going to be talking off the cuff about certain things that are happening in my life, some advice that I want to share with you guys that I've learned as of late and over the years, and some explanations to some things. And so that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to go on a nice walk. It's a beautiful morning after all the rainy holiday, and it's nice, 70-some degrees outside. Little breeze. So I'm going to go out, go for a walk, give you some of my little tidbits and share some things with you. And then we'll come back here and round everything out. All right. So let's go ahead and get this walk started. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like bell because you're going to like the video, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so that as I upload videos, you will be notified. And guys, listen, I am working really hard to grow my channel. I would love to monetize it. So that means I need watch hours. I have enough subscribers to do that, but I need the watch hours. So please, for my sake, if you want to help, please watch this video until the end. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss uploads. And go ahead and give it a thumbs up because that shows YouTube that you like the content. Now, let's get on this walk because I need it. All right, let's go. So I started off my business with a heart for wanting to help smaller businesses, people who were struggling to get themselves in front of their audience or struggling to know what exactly to do with their advertising and promotion of their businesses, because I knew from personal experience how difficult it was to actually get the help you needed. Most people expect payment, right, for their services, rightfully so. But when you're first getting started, you really don't have the finances. And unfortunately, a lot of people need to make money right away because they have bills to pay. They have responsibilities. And thankfully, I had, a spouse. We had arranged, our financial responsibilities ahead of time, in that before we even had kids, we said we would live off of one income. So that income was his. So when I started my business, good morning. When I started my business, I had the ability to do the research and take the time to learn all of the different things and aspects of my business outside of my marketing degree, of course. So I had the ability to do that. So as I started working with clients, my goal was really to give people the benefit of that experience. And so I worked really hard to seek out those individuals who maybe couldn't afford the coaches and the consultants. And so I wanted to give them the benefit of my experience. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because the first lesson that I learned, I shouldn't say that these are lessons that I learned. What I'll say is one of the things that I am working on now is pivoting my business to a point where I am now operating in my own stage of entrepreneurship, where I'm now looking for revenue positive businesses who are ready to start working on their business and not in their business, and they can appreciate having someone in their business as a consultant to point them in the right direction. They have the budget for it. They know what it means to create a customer experience that's positive. So I'm in this period of transition, and I had to come up with a way where I could still service the people that I have a heart for, but also, scale my business the way I needed to. So I decided to create a package where I do, it's a coaching package, it's 4 sessions, and it really does give me the opportunity to pour out my knowledge to someone in need, someone who is, still in the stages of building and growing, not quite where they want to be revenue positive in their business, but they know that they need something and they can't figure out what that something is. I hate that feeling. Absolutely hate feeling like there's a piece of the puzzle that's missing and I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. And I wish someone would have just sat me down and said, here's what it is and here's how you do it. And that would have helped me out immensely. And so through this coaching package, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving you those answers and telling you this is the direction that you need to go. Here are the tools that you can use to get you there, so forth and so on. But it allows me to continue serving the audience that I love to serve while I am building and scaling my own business. So that's the lesson for you if you are, at a stage in your business where you need to scale, but you don't want to leave that initial audience behind. Come up with a product or a service that takes your hand off the wheel so you don't have to be there every single step of the way and take time away from your personal scaling. But it also offers the opportunity for those people that you really wanted to serve in the beginning, that you had a heart for. It still gives them the benefit of your knowledge and expertise. So, yeah, that's the first thing that I would say about where I am right now in my business and just some thoughts that I'm having. Let me continue my walk, and as I come up with more things, I will share them with you. All right, so the next thing that I think is really important to share with you guys is this idea of networking. And I think some of us are getting it completely wrong. I think some of us, I hope it's not you, but if it is, hopefully you'll get something from this. Some of us are showing up at these networking events with the expectation that they're going to sell, and not have to invest in the group or the organization that they're networking with. For instance, if you are a member of a chamber of commerce, it is unrealistic to believe that you're going to show up and be the only person in your industry. In our chamber, I can count probably 5 roofers. Well, so you can't expect that a chamber of commerce is going to be industry exclusive. Secondly, if and when you show up to a chamber networking event, it's a good idea to show up with a plan, a game plan. Are you showing up to find clients? Are you showing up to build relationships and get those secondary clients? Are you showing up to serve and be a blessing to someone else with the talents and skills that you have outside of what you're getting paid for? For instance, if your chamber has events and opportunities to sponsor, are you willing to do that? If your chamber has events and opportunities to volunteer, are you willing to do that? These are things that are not necessarily going to be income producing, but they are opportunities for you to get your name out, your brand's name out, to show that you are a valuable resource in your chamber, to show that you can be trusted. And that in turn will convince people that doing business with you or referring people to you is a good idea. And I want you to think about this idea of referral business, because truly, sorry, I'm out of breath on my walk. Thought I'd share these thoughts with you. But when you are networking, you have to think of referrals as a conversion as well. And when you are creating your networking strategy, you have to think in terms of how can I build a relationship with the people in this networking group that will yield referrals, them putting people into your funnel without you having to do much work. So if you put the work up front, showing your value, offering your expertise in ways that aren't going to generate revenue directly to you, but people start to see how awesome you are and how easy you are to work with and how much information you have in your subject matter. When they run across people who need that particular service or product, they'll think of how awesome you were, how easy you were to talk to, the integrity you have, how you were willing to serve, and you weren't all about sales and cutthroat. They'll remember that. And I'm telling you the truth because this is what's happened to me. I used to get upset because I was not getting, loads of business from my chamber. But what I can say is, from the relationships I have at my chamber, the opportunities that I've had, oh my gosh, have far outweighed the amount of money I could have made from one or two of the people at the chamber. Honestly, I just finished a leadership program. I met and now know and have relationships with city leadership, some of the big time developers in our area. I understand more how the Economic and Development Corporation works and how new business is brought into the city and how I can reach out and connect with those businesses way earlier in the process than most because I have access to the people who are bringing them in. So when it comes to networking, I'll get back to my original point. It's really important for you to have a plan, a game plan that is not centered around making sales. Sales will happen. It might take them a while. I'm a member of an organization called Master Networks at the moment, and they talked about, joining. It is an industry exclusive organization, but they talked about joining and then having the patience to wait 6 months before you get your first referral, possibly. And that's because they are building relationships. They want to know that you're committed to the organization, that you're going to, follow the rules, that you are going to participate in the referral process, be of service, not come in guns blazing, trying to sell everybody on you and your product or your service. And I've been in it now for about 6 months, and I am getting sales. I wrote an ebook, From Clicks to Clients, Mastering Sales Funnels for Digital Success. I'll link that down below. But I am starting to get sales from that book. I am also the vice president of training now for that group. And so they have the confidence that I can provide really good training for them to supplement the training that Master Networks provides each meeting. And so I just went in and started to bring my value that was not to sell. I came in serving, immediately got on the leadership team as I was on the training team. And then just recently, the person that was the vice president of training decided he wanted to move on to a different position. And without even having to throw my name in the hat, they were just like, Andrea, do you want to take over? Absolutely. So I'm serving. And each week, as I supplement my the training that they offer, each week, I get complimented on how great my supplemental training was, how awesome that value is, and how much people appreciate it. Now, what that does for me in this particular group is it shows the members of the group that I know what I'm talking about. So when they run across someone who needs my services throughout their day, they're more comfortable referring me. And that is what you get when you're networking. So it's important to change your mindset around networking. Really identify the reason that you're doing the networking in the first place. Be very intentional. Have a plan. Don't just go in with no idea and just exchanging business cards. I'm even very particular about exchanging business cards. I want to make sure that there is some synergy, that there is some potential conversions that can happen. And by conversions, I don't necessarily mean that the person I exchange cards with is going to purchase from me or that I'm going to purchase from them, but I believe that there is a connection and that I can either connect them with someone, or they will be able to connect me with someone or use me themselves. But it's no point in just collecting business cards for the sake of having a shoebox full of business cards. I've been there and done that. And I've thrown away more business cards because I didn't have a plan of how I wanted to use them or why I even took them in the first place. So yeah, when it comes to networking, honestly, give yourself the benefit of thinking it through. I have another book, my BTB Business Journal, where I go into detail about different ways that you can network that aren't always traditional. I will link that book down below as well. It may already be linked, but I'm in the process of updating it, but it is still really good. That section is still really good and very helpful. So I'll link it down below for you. But yeah, so that is the second thing that I wanted to share with you on my walk. I've got a little further to go. So if something else pops up, I'll hop back on. See you in a bit. Okay, so I'm back because I came up with something else. And this one is, I'm going to call it to master and monetize your mindfulness. Well, what do I mean? If you have a business, or if you have a hobby, or if you have a skill that comes easy to you, you probably are thinking that it's easy for everybody else. And like, why would you be any different? What would make someone want to purchase from you? Well, I had that mindset too. And I've been told many times that I do things far above what other people do. I've struggled to find that believable because I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything special, right? Like, but it's not true. Where you find something very easy, it's quite possible that there are people around you who struggle in that area. So master that. Like, if it's a passion of yours, if it's a hobby, if something that you're just really, really skilled at, and you think that, you know, and you're getting tons of people complimenting you on it, or they are just amazed every time you do it, and they, you know, constantly are sharing whatever it is you do with other people, that is a skill that you could master and then monetize it mindfully. Obviously not beating people over the head to sell it, but if you know a lot about, for instance, I love entertaining. I love home decor. I love fashion. And I love helping people look and feel their best. And I don't know if you heard me say this before, but when I was initially, you know, starting my businesses, I've had several over the years, but I went through a lot of different phases in my process and was told that if I didn't decide what I wanted to do, I was never going to be successful. And that hurt me a little bit. It stifled me because, I mean, I was like, well, I can't help it that I'm talented in a lot of different areas. And that's not to toot my own horn. It's just that I like a lot of different things. I think I'm decent at a lot of different things. And so I was trying to use all those things in a mindful way, monetizing it in a mindful way. But it wasn't until I really decided that, okay, how can I combine all of my passions and loves into one thing and one subject matter that could benefit the people. And that's when I landed on the term personal branding. And you've all heard of a personal brand. You know, it's really how people see you, what you want people to know about you. But personal branding is an action that is done to leverage who you are and how you want to be seen across all of your platforms, across all of your areas, life, career, and or business. And when I discovered this term, and I'll put the definition of it up because it's important for you to understand what this definition of personal branding is, the one that I use particularly. So I'll put that up, put it up right here. But personal branding really identified how I could show up with all my talents and skills and monetize it mindfully. So I use the entertaining and the love of entertaining and interior design to do luncheons and brunches and plan events for my business. I use the fashion. I have a whole segment here on my channel called Your Style Story, which I'm gearing up for now to get a new set of interviews going for the summer. And I use that also because I talk to people about like the way you look, your personal style really does speak volumes for you when words are not an option. The way you look tells people whether you're trustworthy, if you are organized, if you can get the job done. So I was able to turn all of those things inward, master them, because I still read, I still learn, I still grow. Just purchased some books recently on entertaining. And so I'm learning and really trying to perfect those skills to make my events even better, my luncheons, my brunches even better. And so I'm mastering that so that I can monetize it mindfully. If you have things like that in your business, they don't always have to match exactly. I am a business consultant specializing in personal branding, strategic strategy, and leadership. And that is not entertaining and fashion and home decor. But I've been able to master those things that I'm most interested in and mindfully monetize them to work for my business. So start thinking about those things in your life. Don't let people tell you that you have to be pigeonholed into doing engineering just because you're an engineer. Find a way to master those things that you love and mindfully incorporate them into your business so that you can monetize them. I think that is so important in order for us to scale our businesses, but not just scale them, but do it organically in a way that's not so stressful and taxing on our families and on our lives. It's when we're operating outside of our zone of genius that we struggle in these areas. So mastering our loves and then monetizing them mindfully is very helpful. And that's the last one, I think, unless I come up with something else. I'm almost done with my walk. So if I come up with something else, I'll let you know. But for now, I think that might be it. So give me a minute. I might be back. I'm gonna keep walking for now. All right, guys, so I have finished my walk. I am sitting in my backyard. I think I am going to go make me a little bit of breakfast and sit out here and eat it. Bring my laptop because it is such a beautiful day. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this gecko. Hold on. Do you see him? We'll call him Petey. He came to hang out, maybe go for a splash in the pool, who knows. Anyway, guys, okay, so let's go ahead and finish out some of my thoughts. I gave you some of the tips that I've learned and I wanted to share with you, but one of the things that allowed me to learn these lessons and to overcome some of the challenges that I face in my business and to do this pivot that I'm having to do now is I learned how to become the chief executive officer of my life, and I learned how to create standard operating practices that made it easy for me to be consistent with my behavior and the way people interact with me. And I think that makes people comfortable because they know what they're getting every time they encounter me. I'm the same, and they don't have to guess, they don't have to wonder. And so my final thought to you is to become the chief executive officer of yourself. Develop a personal brand, create standard operating practices for your life, career, and your business or business, whichever applies, both or either. But develop a standard operating practice from doing the work required to truly understand your strengths, your limitations, your desires, and your non-negotiables, and put that into practice in a consistent manner and teach people how to treat you. Now, if you're struggling to do that, you don't know how, it sounds like that's a good idea, but you're like, okay, how do you do that? I have a program, Project CEO, and that is what it's all about. It is about teaching you how to become the chief executive officer of yourself. And then how do you leverage that? It shows you exactly how. It gives you the tools and techniques to create a personal framework and then subsequently create those standard operating practices that set boundaries, teach people how to treat you, and help you manage the volume of your own personality. So if that sounds like an area that you need to dive into so that you can be a much more successful person in your daily activity, much more productive, then I think that's a good idea for you to go ahead and get on the wait list for my program. I am going to be opening it up soon. Right now, I'm trying to decide if I want to do a live version of my L3 Summit, which I haven't had in a few years, since before COVID. And it's a great live workshop that is kind of the live version of the Project CEO program. And so I'm thinking about doing that first. But either way, let me know your thoughts. Would you like to come live and hang out with me and do this in a workshop or a working retreat? Or do you want to just get on the wait list and I'll open the program up sometime toward the end of the summer? So that does it for me today. I'm glad you were with me on my walk. I hope you enjoyed everything that I shared with you. If so, again, please give this video a like. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed your time with me today and want to come back and see more. I've got a ton of playlists. I've got a leadership playlist that I think you should check out. I'll link that down below. And then also my Your Style Story videos series is gearing up again for summer episodes. So make sure you watch last season because it's really good. I had some great guests on with tons of amazing information about how to create your own personal style story. And yeah, hit me back here again next week. Don't forget the CEO Mindset podcast also shows up here. The video version shows up here on Tuesdays. So that's another opportunity for you to hang out with me here on this channel. It's so much goodness. Don't miss out. All right, thanks for watching today's video, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.